Greetings, Radish NFT world. This is Discord user Slappy White welcoming all you radishes to today's special discussion. We hope you enjoy the conversation, but remember, it doesn't have to stop when the recording does. Join the Radish NFT Discord community and keep the conversation going there. We don't sell anything, we only share knowledge and opportunity about Web3, blockchain, NFTs, crypto, much more. Just Google Radish NFT Discord and you'll find the invitation. Now, without further delay, let's get to today's featured speaker, Discord user JennConn of Blokpax fame. So, with that vein, we want to learn, and so who better to learn from in Blokpax than Jen, who I think we've all seen what she's been doing in Blokpax. You seem to be involved in all aspects of Blokpax. You seem to be doing a lot for the community. So it's an honor to have you here. I'm going to turn it over to you. And if it's okay with you, Jen, do you mind if folks speak up and just ask a question, or would you prefer they post them or wait till the end when you ask for questions?
No, either way is fine. I don't know if I can live up to that introduction though. My good Lord.
You certainly can, and I'll let you take it
over. Okay, so I'm just gonna go off of some. You had given me a couple questions to kind of get started, and then we'll see what happens if there's any other questions. I guess the first thing was involved in Web3. So, funny note, me knowing what Web3 is non-existent. So I come from a technology background, but not on the web, no crypto. I knew absolutely nothing when I started August last year. I actually was in the physical card world, and through one of the groups that I used to break with, they announced this new NFT online lottery kind of crypto thing. I knew absolutely zero about any of it. But they did a good job of onboarding, because I know there's a couple others in BP that came from there. Just learned about it, kind of took a chance. I bought a couple boxes and ended up winning a card, doing absolutely nothing. I had no idea about trading. I don't even know if I was in the Discord at that point. I'm gonna say it was like whatever the max needed to be. Was it 300 tokens? So I don't even know what the boxes were. I think it was just tokens back then. There were no boxes. So I think it was 300 tokens, 300 or 500 tokens.
I think the first drop was $5 a token, and that was
right.
You could buy as many as you wanted, but 100 was like Genesis Club or the 100 Club or whatever.
Yeah, so I think I did 300 the first time, and I wound up winning. What did I win? The Michael Jordan. One of the Michael Jordan ones. You're funny, Ben. See, I don't even know. Yeah, it was one of the Michael Jordan cards in that drop. And then I have to tell you, I think if I didn't win because I wasn't involved in the Discord and I had no clue what was going on, I potentially may not have joined in the second drop. But I did. So the second drop came and we were still with the card group. So I went in again. I think this time I did 500, and I think I actually split. I think I did 3 with the card group, and then I got into the Discord. So I went in 200 directly through Blokpax. And I still don't think I traded any. I may have dabbled a little bit, was still kind of figuring everything out.
And can you explain when you won that card, at that
Yep.
point, did you fully understand all the
No.
dynamics of like, hey, I own this NFT, I can claim the card, I don't have to, they're keeping it in a vault. Like, did you, I mean, one of the hard things, right, is onboarding folks to Blokpax. But at that point that you won, did you fully understand all the dynamics? Or were you just kind of like, hey, I won some Jordan thing and I still don't quite understand?
It would be the latter. So I knew I won something. It was at that point a pretty picture on my screen. I kind of knew that there was a card behind it, but I really didn't process the whole, like, I could get it out of the vault, I could auction, I could, I knew I could probably sell it online if I wanted to, but again, I wasn't that into the whole crypto thing, so I didn't quite grasp all of it. But then I started trying to learn after that. So I was more involved in the Discord, asking all kinds of, ridiculous, very beginner basic questions, and then just started making friends with people in the Discord just through my innocuous questions. And I think that's what really got me hooked, was just the way people were responding to me.
And Jen, you helped so many people that I'm curious, and I suspect a couple of the names, but when you got your start, who were those names who were helping you?
I have to say, I'm trying to remember back then. I'm old, my memory sucks. So back then, I know some of the ones, so I'm pretty sure B-Jamps was up in there. I know Epic helped me out a lot. I know a lot of the mods who were there early on. So I'm pretty sure, I don't even remember who were mods back then. Actually, surprisingly, I think Ghetto helped me out back in the day. Zach. Trying to figure out who was in there. Legend.
It's good that we did this recording now, because if we did another year, you probably wouldn't remember any of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's great to hear. It's kind of, I'm sure everybody listening kind of suspected that list. So that's great. They were helping you. So you had gone to Discord after winning the MJ. You're getting more involved. And at that point, are you thinking, I want to expand to other projects? Or at that point, you're like, I want to be more involved in Blokpax, and that's all?
So that was the first entry into NFTs and crypto. And then when I started kind of figuring a little bit things out here or there, and I'm like, oh, I bought these, razz tokens, we can trade and buy them, and then there's a prize at the end. I'm like, this NFT crypto space is kind of really cool. Let me see what else is out there. So I joined a couple other projects, and nothing is like Blokpax. I learned some lessons along the way. And some of the other projects may be good for other people. I know there's a lot of guys out there that just want to, mint and then either immediately flip it for a profit, or they mint and they hold. That doesn't so much interest me. I like more of the gaming aspect, more of the everyday involvement, more of the community aspect of it. So I'm now kind of strictly in Blokpax. I have a couple other that I watch because I need to get rid of stuff, and some others that I'm in because it's kind of okay. But Blokpax is really completely different.
And when you talk about these other projects, are you talking about closed marketplaces where it's just in their ecosystem, or are you talking about projects on OpenSea?
Mostly OpenSea projects. Just ones that come up and it's like, oh, here, this is a new project, and they're minting. It would be really, really cool. And you kind of look at their roadmap like, oh, that's cool, that looks neat, and then you kind of mint it and you sit there and it does nothing.
Right.
And so that's not what I'm not. I mean, it is an investment, getting into all this, but I want more than like buying stock in something.
And
So
we've seen over the last couple of days, another member of the BP community got targeted. The person who took him actually did Entropy's name along with the 4-digit Discord user ID name, which I guess I didn't know until Infinite said that when you do Nitro, you can pick your own 4 digits. So they really make it look like the person. But in your experience, when you're talking about these other projects, were any of them actual rug pulls, or were they just projects that really haven't taken off?
I never actually got into a project that was a rug pull. I did make some stupid clicks in some of those projects, so I did learn some very expensive mistakes. But yeah, all the projects.
I think we can give you I think we can give you like a year to date number on all of these.
So Jen, I think you were going to tell us about where the jobs were going in 2024. Oh no, wait, that was the one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I don't even know where I was. I was talking about, the other projects that I'm in are still around. I still have the NFTs, just looking for some place to dump them. But like I said, probably 98% into just BP, which, to be honest with you, takes up 150% of my time. So it's not a bad place to be.
Call as well.
Oh, okay.
But you were saying that Blokpax is probably 50% of what you do on Web3 now?
No, I'd say like 95%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 95%. And I enjoy it. I like the people, and it takes enough of my time. So I'm good with just there. And I really, truly believe that there is something here that's going to go on for years, and it's going to be something really, really special, really good for everyone that's involved. And I'm very excited to see where Frenchie and the team take all this, because it's been great so far.
And you were talking about the great people, Jen. Is that I don't want to ask because I hope there isn't one, but have you ever had a bad experience in BP, either with a mod or a community member? And you don't have to name names, but just, have you had any bad experience? Have you had any bad trading experience?
I've never had a bad trading experience. Whoever I trade with, either I pay or they pay, or so I've never had any issues trading. And I've never, there's no one I won't talk to. There are potentially some people that I would rather not trade with. And it just has more to do with how people treat people. I don't begrudge anyone for trying to make a buck, or, trying to ask for EV or more than EV, or whatever they want to ask for, whatever they want to do. I kind of more focus on the way people go about doing things.
Well,
don't know if that's an answer or not, but
that's a great answer, and I'm sure the follow-up people would like to hear, as they'd love to remain your trading partners. What are the attributes? More specifically, what do you want, and what should be on the do not list? The point about the folks you trade with is that the folks who slide into your DMs and don't say, "Hey, how's your drop going?" It's the first time they've ever contacted you, and they're like, "I want your 3, blah blah blah. Can you do it?" And when you don't give them exactly what they want, you don't hear from them for 6 weeks until the next elite drop, and it's just a transaction to them.
People that are like that, and I'm okay with that. I don't need people to to type 3 sentences asking about my debt, but it's kind of and it's hard in text and over Discord to read intent and how people are saying things. But, and like I said, I would say 99.9% of the time I have no issues with anyone. and sometimes I get irritated because it doesn't go my way, but that has nothing to do with the other person. So I just go, lick my wounds, and then I'll come back again and try again. And everyone in BP knows that I keep lists. So there's that.
Tell us more about the list. What do you keep an Excel? No, you keep an Excel spreadsheet, and what are the lists? And you don't have to say the names.
I joke. Actually, the only list I really do keep is when people try and mess with me and change their wallet names and don't match their Discord and all that, because I am a 100% certified OS stalker. So I do have a living list of OS wallets to Discord names. But other than that, I don't. I joke a lot that I have lists, and Patches is usually on the bad one. But but it's all in fun.
It's good to know, because I have multiple MetaMask accounts, and I've started to use them for different things, and I'm not trying to hide anything. I just have different ones, but I'll make sure to send over my list of different accounts.
Yeah.
So you have them all, so you don't think that I'm trying to do anything. But oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jen.
No, go ahead.
No, you were about to say something. I'd love to hear.
No, I was just gonna say I don't stalk people and keep the list to make sure they're not doing anything bad. I stalk them and keep the list so that when they have something I want, I know who they are.
Yeah. Well, and tell us about the latest drop. I mean, that's one thing I found, is that when you go down the list, and especially now at the round we're at with 32, and you can quickly go down the list and see all the OS accounts. There are so many names you don't recognize, and when you go into Discord and you type that name, it's not a username. Are you finding it hard this time to locate somebody because they are a new person to Blokpax, but they haven't actually, it's not the same Discord name as their OpenSea name?
Correct. That's a huge issue. I have to say, on the 2 I'm chasing, not so much of an issue this time. I know who they are. But I would have to say, for the punk drop, that was a big issue. That was like a wing it by the seat of your pants, because there was, not only were the tokens all over because they were on main, so you couldn't see who had what, but there were so many different people that it was kind of next to impossible. So you just kind of winged that one. But this one, I mean, I try my best to finagle. I have a couple sources that help me out from time to time. I'm trying to track people down.
Right, and there's no, I mean, this is a real neophyte question, but I haven't figured it out yet. But I'd be kind of shocked if OpenSea doesn't have a backdoor way. Why doesn't OpenSea have a messaging capability? Do they, that I'm not familiar with?
No, they don't. I've asked that for probably about 7 to 9 months. Yeah. I said it would be an awesome feature to have, but they don't. But
I suppose the only thing, right, is the security reason. They might be doing that to protect themselves because they know they can't stop people from putting dangerous links.
Probably. But there are other ways to kind of. A lot of the people on there are on Twitter. So sometimes I've actually found and messaged people via Twitter who aren't in the Discord. So that's another avenue to try and find them.
That's tip number 1, everybody. That Jen's that's search Twitter.
But to me, it's fun for me. Like, I don't know. I enjoy this kind of stuff. I enjoy trying to figure out where everyone is. I enjoy trying to come up with my ways to DM people and try and get deals and do. I mean, that's fun for me. It's not fun for everyone that I talk to, but
well, and speaking of fun, is that, first of all, BJM said a great point. He said that OpenSea doesn't want people making off. And I will say that I think Dirty Jersey said in the comment section, when that person's work call overrode your talk, he had the exact same thought I did. He was joking, but I really thought as well. I thought like, I don't know, if it's like a partner of yours like stepped in and was like, we're not going to discuss how much Jen has made over the last year and how much she's lost. So, and that is a good question, which is, I mean, obviously, when you look at the leaderboard in Blokpax, you have a lot of points. So you're sitting on a lot of things. But in terms of, and you know, it's hard, right? Because, well, let me ask you this: when you win a card, how often do you keep it? How often do you sell it? And if you sell it, how often do you sell it as an NFT? And how often do you actually take it and sell it in the physical form? And how often, if you keep it, do you keep it as an NFT versus keep it as in the physical form?
Let me see if I can dissect this. So, one, I have not taken anything off blockchain yet. Two, I think of all the things that I have besides like miscellaneous extra IMs, I have sold 2 vault tokens, period. I don't sell.
Well,
which causes its own issues, but
well, and that makes it more difficult because the next question I was going to ask is obviously you believe in Blokpax, you believe in the future, so you have things tied into it. So you don't have any actual gain or loss. But in terms of what you bought and sold, so at this point, it seems like you're probably invested in Blokpax. So you haven't pulled out more money than you put in. Is that a fair statement?
correct. Yes. Yep.
Okay. But if you were to liquidate your assets, do you think you would be up from where you started?
I would hope so. I would think so. I mean, a couple of the vault tokens that I do have. I mean, I have the Michael Jordan that I won. I have a Tom Brady. I have the Serena. Those are like the 3 biggest ones. So between them and then some of the other instant wins and things I've gotten, my geeks. I mean, assuming that there's a market to buy at, a decent price, I would say probably would make money on the deal.
Like the folks, I don't know if you're following the chat thread, but they there was the BP stock just took a nosedive 12% because people thought that you were going to liquidate your assets and it was going to cause all of the BP assets just to go down. So
no, I have way too much sweat equity in this to take anything out of it now. Unless something drastically bad happens to myself or my family, we're in it for the long haul here.
And all right, and so you say you're in it for the long haul. What so let's hear what you're involved with at Blokpax. BPI. Are you involved in that?
Yes.
Okay. And to the same extent as all the other projects? So you're as heavily involved there, like the same percentage-wise, or are you just dipping your toe in? And how long have you been involved since the beginning over there? I don't remember if it was around before you joined, before you won your first Jordan.
I joined probably a little bit later on that one. And I'd say I'm probably like, I don't know, I guess medium to medium high invested in that one. I don't know. That one's hard because I know I have 8 pirates. I know they're, Ninja Ape and Ben have a tremendous amount. I think there's one other person that's up there. But that one, I started learning about that through Blokpax when it was still Tiki. And being the fact that I could barely understand Blokpax, Tiki at that point was like completely over I had no freaking idea what was going on. Actually, a lot of the people I knew in BP helped me kind of understand that. I just kept asking questions. And I was going to get into it, and then I didn't, and then I was, and then I didn't, and then I finally did when they had the second, was it called the minting? The second minting when they were doing
Right.
The other PFPs things. Yes. So that's when I kind of dove in.
And I will say, Jen, that Jorzane is saying that the reason I got into BPI and the reason that I ended up with a pirate is, well, I should say Jen is the reason I got into BPI and the reason that I ended up with a pirate. So that is the ripple effect you have. That's the reason why so many people are tuning in today, is that folks really do like to hear what you have to say. I think because you're very knowledgeable, you're open, and you're helpful. And so I think a lot of us, are appreciative of what you're doing. And that's another thing. LE1, he said, question, Jen, what would you recommend to a newcomer in the Blokpax ecosystem? It can be very overwhelming. Where do you think Blokpax is having success? And at the same time, where do you feel like they're missing? So starting out with his first question, Jen, what would you recommend to a newcomer in the Blokpax ecosystem?
So that's an interesting question. So it all depends what they want to get out of it. That's the thing with BP. They say it's a very complex project, which at a high level it is, but you can break it down into the different components. And the good thing is you don't have to participate in the pieces that you don't want to. So you can start off slower, learn that piece, and then kind of jump into the next piece. So as far as where to start, it would all depend on what your likes are. I mean, do you like the razz and the lottery aspect? Do you like the creating rainbows and sets? Do you like the miners? Do you like, Lord knows what else is out there. You can just go in and buy vault tokens. From my perspective, and what I told some of the new people that I had talked to before the boxes came out for this drop, is to buy a box, whether that was actually the 20 IM box or the hanger or whatever they called it for the thing, but just to see the process, because explaining it and then watching the chats, and I mean, you check out for a day from Discord and come back and it's like a freaking brave new world. So I can see where that would be extremely overwhelming. So I think the easiest thing to do is to, either buy a hanger or buy a box, or go in after that and pick up a couple razz and just see how the process works. And then if you like that, then the next time you can buy a little bit more and you're more comfortable, instead of dropping, a couple hundred or a couple grand on something that you have no idea what's going on. And then it's just miserable for everyone.
I think that LE1's question and your answer is a good snapshot of the problem with Blokpax. Blokpax does so many things so well, but even they have a problem with onboarding, Web 2 users to Web 3, and also capturing the existing Web 3, not because they don't have one of the best products in Web 3, but just because of the complexity. And I think what's interesting is, right, if LE1 says to you, where should a new person start? The fact that you don't have a elevator answer in 2 seconds and tell them, oh, for sure, do this, right? It'd be like, I'm trying to think of a real world analogy, where you would start, but most experiences like that you do in life, somebody can say to you, start with this, don't worry about everything, start with this. And I think the hard part with Blokpax is that if a new person is in the community and asks 5 different people, they'll get 5 different answers. And that's the hard part, right? What is it that a new person is supposed to do? So that's interesting, your perspective, Jen, on that. I think that
I got a point.
Sure, go ahead, Hawkwind.
I think we need to look at it differently, actually. Instead of, there's a lot of knowledgeable people in Blokpax and users, and they'll give you recommendations, but it's hard to do it, as you said. I think really what we need to ask is a different question, which is, what are you looking for in NFTs or a project? And then let me tell you if there's something similar that you could do within the Blokpax ecosystem. That's going to be much more effective than actually trying to say, start here, start there. Because you want, I think Jen mentioned it so well in the beginning when I started listening, which is that she doesn't want to get in NFT projects that she doesn't want to be able to like, to follow, to be a part of, to be able to integrate it into what her wants and interests are. And I think it's really important that we then take a look at that. If someone says, I want a quick buck, sure, there's an answer. But if someone says they want a community, there's an answer. If someone says they want sports, there's an answer. So I think that that's what we should ask, not saying, hey, would you like to do this or that? Yeah, there's something here.
Jen, it's Hawkwind is actually, he's kind of a C-suite advisor. And you can tell is that he uses his mind games on me all the time, but he gets to the heart of the issue, which is, it's true, right? He goes back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of said. It depends on what you want. They have a little bit for everyone, and the beauty with the way they set it up, though it appears complex, is you don't have to do all of it. Like there are people that are just in the minors because they want the minors.
Right. Yep.
They don't want to go into the other pieces of it. There are people that, just stack and sell all their razz because they're not interested in the gaming aspect of it. So yeah, I completely agree. That is probably the first question.
And I will say the comments we had is Antimatter said that it's confusing by nature and he's not sure, he or she is not sure how to overcome that. Tito Machado is saying, just jump in head first. And Keizo, I love this one. He said, it's like giving someone with no experience the keys to an extractor. But Tito also said, use a buddy system, find out what the new community values in an NFT project. And Dirty Jersey said, we actually did that for a while until it got to be spread too far. BP members were assigned to team members. It didn't work very well, and that's how BPU was born. So, and Hawkwind is Jorzane wants you to drop a decision tree, which I can see that you're responding to. When it comes to within the so when it comes to the ledger of things, when it comes to collision, so everything, is there anything you don't touch in Blokpax, Jen?
No.
Did you hear that, Frenchie? If you're listening. You need to keep going until you can find a task that Jen won't touch.
I mean, in the beginning, obviously I didn't quite understand everything. So there are some things that I missed out on in the beginning, and it still irritates the crap out of me to this day. But yeah, so up to this point, if I am able to, even in the slightest, I try to take advantage of anything that they offer and that they put out there. And I will have to say that to date, it has not been disappointing in the least. So
I agree with you there, and I don't know if everybody saw it, but I remember when Frenchie was talking about Barefoot Pirates, and he sent out one of his notes, and Frenchie is, I was telling a newer member, is that Frenchie will give guarantees more than any other person in business. So I don't want to say he never does it, because he does it actually from time to time, and when he does do it, that it's going to be worth it. Like I think when we get our whole shark, extra cards, and he said pay the extra 0.1, and if you don't like what you get, I'll give you your money back. And of course it was well worth it, and nobody wanted to take him up on his offer. So when Frenchie said about the Barefoot Pirates, he said if anyone buys one now, and this was back in I think August, he said if you're not happy by December, just go ahead and let me know, and I'll buy it from you. He didn't say how much, or didn't say, there was no spoken contract, but he just basically said, you're not going to be disappointed by December. And that was the time I ended up buying 2 pirates for 0.41. And I was surprised the other day to see the floor was now above 1 on the pirates. But to your point, whenever Frenchie is in a project, I go with him.
Well, let me add something there. Here's what I see. Frenchie is one of the few people of any NFT project that actually applies business sense and experience to the actual NFT project itself. Instead of not having that experience and or actually thinking that it's completely new because it's an emerging market and that everything has to be thought up of from the base floor up, Frenchie applies principles of business and structure and modeling to what he does. So what does that mean in this case? He has actually, I'm sure, a budget for customer acquisition. And what he's doing with the guarantee is actually utilizing the customer acquisition budget in order to get more people over. The key that you want is you want to be able to get first-time buyers into multiple-time buyers. That's the key to almost any business. And the greatest cost, because there's a lower cost to that. The greatest cost is actually getting people to buy for the first time or customer acquisition. So he's going with a tried and true method that actually doesn't cost a lot of money, although it could, in principle, the ceiling could be high. Most likely it'll be around the floor, which is a low cost for the acquisition. So I thought it was really interesting when you talk about this stuff because there's strategy involved with all of it. Unlike like a lot of the NFT projects I see that fly by the seat of their pants and apply feedback immediately as they go.
Hawkwind brings up a good point, Jen, and I'd be curious, is that obviously, well, I don't know, maybe you're part of Frenchie's strategy, but for you personally, I gotta imagine you're the biggest cheerleader for Blokpax. How many people have you personally brought in, do you think, from your card group before, from friends, from different people? How many people have you actually brought into Blokpax?
I mean, probably like like me actually going out and grabbing people and putting them in, probably 0. Actually, there's not a lot of people. The card guys that I know are like true card guys. Oh, that's true, Antimatter. I did bring my son in. He didn't have much of a choice.
And how old is he, by the way?
He's 17.
And was he into NFTs before you got him in, or did you introduce him to that world?
No, he knew about NFTs. But he knew about them more from not really the project kind of side. Him and his friends would create a bunch of different ones, and they played with it from that perspective. But he never really bought anything or was officially in a project. So yeah, I got him into BP, and then he does have a parrot. I mean, he has a couple parrots. He has a pirate.
And just out of curiosity, because I have younger kids and I don't speak to 17-year-olds. As a 17-year-old, is he just like, I'm doing this because my mom wants me, or is he looking at this and he's like, this is really cool, and he's excited about it?
No, he likes it. He probably wishes he had more time to spend on it because he is in school. But he'll get involved. He's not really involved in this drop, but other drops he's been involved in. He's made some trades with people. He actually won the Herbert the last drop. That was his first win.
So he won a Herbert last drop, but he's not doing this drop.
Yeah. Sometimes he doesn't have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. He had what did he have? He had 50 tokens this time. He's got one Sweet 16 left. So this one, he'll always have tokens in it. Sometimes he'll just let it ride. So he's let everything ride.
But by the way, LE1 is saying that it's an addiction, Jen. Blokpax is a gateway drug, and it's on you now.
Yes, I know. I'm creating a monster.
And does he?
Yeah,
so he does razz, he does BPI and Barefoot Pirate, and now does he do like lots collision as well, or not there yet?
He has a couple lots only because when he started, I kickstarted him with an account that I bought. Someone was selling their entire BP account, so that's how he started. So he has some from that, but for him mostly it's the razz, and then he does have a couple of minors, surely because of the point. He was on the scale for the points.
Can I add something there? Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of interesting. So, Jen, what you are is something that you progress your customers to, which is called an advocate. So the advocate is self-explanatory by the name, but it's actually a business strategy that you do with your customers. And it's not that you draw in people directly. It's the idea that you preach and you tell people and you indirectly influence people who influences others. And you get this multiplier effect going on. And it all stems from the advocates when they first help people and or they first promote it, and they talk about it a lot. You coming on our Discord is a really, really prime example of why you want 5 to 10% of your actual customer base to be advocates. Because what you're doing right now is tremendous for Blokpax, but also it provides value to everybody on this Discord. So I just want to point out, like, it is really cool that we see that there's advocates already, and established advocates already within an NFT project that just started a little while back.
Oh, I appreciate that. I try my best. I mean, to be honest, it's easy to talk about something that is fun and you enjoy and you have a good experience about it, and then at the same time, there is some level of not self-preservation, but there is some set that I need this project to be successful. I need it to grow. I need it to, I have a huge investment in it. So you put those two things together and it's easy. And the good thing is there's a lot of us out there that do it. There's a lot that truly believe in the direction and what's going on and want it to succeed and want to promote it and want to get new members, and that's kind of why I joined and stuck around in the first place, because of those people. So people that did it for me, I now want to do it for new people coming on.
And Jen, with Hawkwind talking about you as an advocate, which of course you are and probably the strongest, what would it take? And don't say like, oh no, it would never happen. Like, I can't conceive of it. Blokpax is one of the top 2 NFT projects that I follow. But what would it take for you to stop investing in Blokpax? For you to say, I'm not ready to sell yet, but I'm also not buying the boxes. I'm not buying, this. I'm not doing that. What would it take? Like, what would it be? Something on Blokpax's part? Would it be something in the community? The community changes, or what? Or a combination?
I mean, obviously, there's some degree of risk for all of that, right? I mean, if I would have to say, off the top of the head, if nothing else changes, it, like I had said earlier, it would be something more from my personal life. That would probably make a drastic change, But if, all of a sudden something bizarro happened and Frenchie and the team went in a completely different direction and everything went into, shambles and people in the Discord were, everything fell apart, obviously that would, change directions, but completely, and just like a 0.00000% chance of that happening.
That's Antimatter said if someone kidnapped Frenchie, perhaps you would walk away from the project. No, and I know that's a really, Hawkwind is saying I'm giving you a hard question. I know it's a hard question, but I'm asking it because I'm trying to get inside your mind and just peel away another layer on what makes Blokpax special for you. Let me ask you just one follow-up question to that, which is, I was involved with Vivi before they hit 100,000 members, and there was something about 100,000 members on the Discord. People just got nasty and just attacking each other, and the community aspect really disappeared. People used to share tips and tricks on how to catch, the impossible drops that would sell out in half a second. And then something changed. So if the Blokpax team remains, which, right, it's an excellent team, it's an excellent product. Say, our community rose to the point where we lose kind of that camaraderie and neighborhoodliness. If it becomes more like other discords, but it's still the Blokpax team and it's still the Blokpax product, are you still there investing in it?
I'm probably still there investing. Would it be as fun for me? Probably not. So would my investment be as large? Possibly not. Part of the fun and attraction for me is, coming on and just the banter back and forth. It's just like everyone's day is stressful and everyone has their own stuff going on in their life. But, the fact that you can come on here and whether other people consider themselves friends of mine or not, I consider some of these people my friends. So to be able to just come on and just kind of de-stress and, kind of have a little fun as well as participating in the projects and the drops is the draw for me.
One, have you ever gone a drop, a razz drop, where you haven't won a card? And have you ever had just a miserable drop other than the staking benefit or the sets that you build?
Have I ever? Yes, I have. The second and third drop I did, I won nothing. It was depressing. And then at that point, I guess, then I really had to figure out what the hell is going on. And I think after that is when I really started learning how to play the game. I think there were other drops that I didn't win because I definitely did not win something every drop. But there were also drops that I actively decided, like the two prior to this, not the punk one, but the two drops prior to this, I actively made a decision that I wasn't chasing anything. So I sold all my razz. I do not win every time.
Well, I think there was a question whether you win 3 or 4 cards every time.
Haha. I've never won 2 in one drop.
Really?
This is actually the first drop that I've gone after 2 cards.
So you've never gone after 2 cards until this drop?
No. I've always focused on 1. Yeah.
What made you decide to change now?
Actually, this this drop is gonna take 20 years off my life. I actually wasn't gonna do anything. I was actually gonna sell again. Yeah, somehow I got sucked back into it. It's hard to walk away. Yeah, a lot of it came down to the fact that I had just the way the tokens laid. And then because one of the things that I like to do if I'm not actually chasing a card, I'll try and find and help out other people that are chasing things. So even though I want to sell all my stuff, I'll still make trades. But I typically try and trade, up. So all of a sudden I started saying, okay, I'll just trade for golds or blues and then see what happens. And then I started looking at it and I started having a lot of Luca and Kobe's. So then it was like, so then I had to alter my plan. So then I spent even more money. So, just another day.
And do you, and I guess this kind of goes into the question about strategy for you. So when you see the checklist come out, do you say, okay, that's what I'm targeting? Or do you wait for the chips to fall where they may? And then you're like, okay, well, I'm a little bit heavy on this stack. I'll go for the Luca because I seem to have gotten a lot of those instead of Mahomes. Or do you target it beforehand?
I usually target it beforehand. So I'll make a decision whether I'm chasing or whether I'm selling. And then if I'm chasing, I'll usually make a decision beforehand. And then 9.9 times out of 10, I generally stick to that. this was the first drop that a lot of stuff changed.
And do you ever have the intention of accumulating gold with the intention of selling in the late rounds? In other words, you don't want to finish it off and get the card, but you're just buying them low, hoping to sell high and just not have an attrition rate that ends up costing you a profit on it.
That was my intention about 2 days ago. And now I'm sitting here at the round of 32 going for 2 cards. So go figure.
That's great. And I do want to ask about the bonus box idea that you came up with the newcomers. So were you talking with anyone else about that? And for folks who don't know, for the Blokpax Fall Supreme Drop, you said, hey, newcomers, come in and buy a box. And if it's your first time, I will put up a box that will be randomly, rewarded to one of the newcomers. So you did that, and it ended up, gaining traction. And then how many boxes did you end up inspiring? There 20 community members came up with 20 boxes, 25 boxes as prizes?
What did it end up at? I think it was 28. Yeah, and I think I said it in Discord too. I mean, it was like surreal for me because it was just a thought I had in my head. I'm like, you know what? We're trying to get all these new people. We're just coming off the punk. We want these people to stick around. And to be honest, I will give credit to Zach because he's done something. He's done similar stuff in the past, just smaller things. It spun a wheel and randomed off a lot, or an IM. I forget exactly what he did. Some razz tokens. And I just kind of remembered that. I'm like, well, that would be a cool idea. And so I, just reached out to Caroline and said, is this something, are you guys okay with this? Is this something I can do or whatever? And she's like, yeah, that would be awesome. So I did it. No thought in my head that anyone else would jump on board. And then all of a sudden it just, rolled from there. And it was like every time someone else did it, I was just like, I can't. It was just, it was really surreal. It was really awesome. And again, just points back to one of the reasons why I am still around and invested so heavily and promote BP.
Kyle mentioned that the person they gifted was so thankful that they wanted to gift back their largest razz. It was impactful. So just one of the impacts that you and Kyle had. Money's no object. What is the one thing that you would recommend people do next out of all the BP projects?
I would say as of right now, even though it's kind of like a buy and done for right now, miners are probably the best buy right now, followed by pirates.
So pirates
would be mine.
So miners at this price, you're still, and you would say this is not financial advice. This is definitely not financial
absolutely.
advice.
This is definitely not financial advice.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
but
1,000% no.
But now you're not. Are you still accumulating miners? I know you have a stack of them. Are you done?
Yeah, I bought what I bought in the beginning, and we're good. I do have 4 coming from the drop, but
And those were instant. Those were instant wins, or you traded for them?
Yeah, no, they were instant wins.
Okay, I like how you hesitated when I asked if you're done. I'm not convinced you're done. And you're not convinced you're done. But you would say
you never know.
If you were buying more, so right now at this price, and I haven't looked today, $175 or whatever it is. So do you still think it's? I mean, again, not financial advice, but if somebody were to show up and say they're trading at 500. Are you still saying like, yeah, long term, that's probably, I don't think that's a horrible thing to do.
No financial advice. I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I said, this is the fact that it's, I think, yeah, someone just typed, I thought it was in the 200s too. It's 225 right now. And the fact that we haven't even really done anything yet.
Yeah.
And just looking at really the engineering feat and the story behind it and everything that goes into it. You know, I mean, I have very high hopes for the miners.
Okay, so that's great to know because you're very excited about a lot of Blokpax, about all their projects. So it's interesting to hear your perspective is that you would put the miners at the top. And would you also put, are you more excited about the proof of stake or the proof of work?
Both probably. The proof of stake is very interesting. I'm waiting to see what that comes out to be and how that all works. But having the two together is definitely really cool.
I will say what's great is Tito said the folks are commenting. I'm not sure if you're seeing about how the price of miners was at 225. This morning it was 175, which is why I said it. But Keza said it was 225. Jerzane's like it's 239. Legends like it's 240, and their comment is it's going up as she speaks. So you're moving.
Yeah. Okay.
You're moving markets, Jen.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Well, it's Jen. I appreciate all your time here, but is there anything final that you wanted to mention just about Blokpax or your Web3 experience? I will say I appreciate having you on. I as a woman in Web3, I appreciate having you on because one of the things that Hawkwin and I have tried to do in the Radish, we've tried to recruit women to come in and join, just because so much wealth is being created. And we're seeing kind of, a system being created where there certainly aren't 50% of women in Web3. So I appreciate your leadership for all of us, regardless of gender. But I also will say, as the father of 2 daughters, I think you're kick-ass, and I like you as a role model. And I hope more women follow your lead and get involved.
Thank you so much. That's very nice. I don't know what I don't know. The one thing I was thinking today, only because I saw it happen a couple times, is and for me as well, but the most difficult decision is you have that 1 or 2 razz token left. You're getting to the further into the rounds. Do you sell or do you ride? And I was kind of going through some of your chat, and I know you guys, have talked about it here too. And, it's like people are like, I'll offer them out, and they're like, well, I may hold on to it. I think I can, get $100 more. I think I can get X amount more. And then they lose the token, and it's like devastating to them. So that's like the biggest, and I don't really have an answer, obviously. I mean, if I'm looking to buy it, my answer would be, of course, sell it. But just this drop, I've been seeing that a lot. And some people are completely fine with it. They're going to let it ride. It's, a $10 token, whatever. But some of these golds now, and I know that's a very stressful and hard decision for a lot of people. And that's a whole kind of addiction part of it. But, my whole thing is if you went into it for a couple bucks and you can walk away making $700, that's kind of a no-brainer to me. And then you have $700 that that's an easy way to up. You come into one drop buying a hanger. You trade up for a gold token that takes you all the way to the round of 32, round of 16. You sell it, increasing and up and winning more cards. But that's just my opinion.
Great. Thank you so much, Jen. Really appreciate you being here. I hope you stick around the Radish, but if not, it was great having you as a guest speaker. It would be nice when the pirates kind of take off. Maybe we can get you back on here, and instead of putting you as the sole guest speaker, maybe we can do a kind of more of a group discussion, because that's one thing I think a lot of the Blokpax folks haven't moved into the pirates and parrots yet. So maybe you'll join us for that.
But yeah, I'd be more than happy to. And thank you so much for inviting me and for everyone for listening. It was fun. I had a good time.
All right. On that, I will say goodbye to everyone. Thanks, Jen.
All right. Bye. Thank you.